Hello, hello, hello. This is another episode of the Mental Threats Podcast. I'm here with a special guest, Mr. Cobe, if you'd like to say something.
Yes, sir. This is Cobe Rise and Rise Academy from Rise and Rise Academy Podcast. You can find me on Facebook, Rise and Rise Academy, YouTube, Rise and Rise Academy, and you can find me on IG. That's King Olajuwon21, KINGALAJUWAN 21, about fitness, inspiration, and fun.
Yeah, dude, ain't no cap in any of his rap at all. Dude really does a whole lot of things. So you stretch from personal training, doing like social media, YouTube, radio channel, and you do music too, right?
Yo, listen, that's one thing I have been on the hush mode, but I do music for introduction. Like a lot of my videos has music in it. That's actually me like rapping and singing on it, on the introductions. So yeah, I do it all, man.
Literally does it all, man. Seriously, that's crazy. We actually met off like a group me, like on the 24 plus group me, like for Charlotte and stuff of that nature. Yep. And it was originally just another type of group me for Charlotte, right?
Yep, it definitely was. And that's kind of how I got added onto it. I think it was like kind of a split off from like a different Charlotte group. So it just kind of added a bigger wide variety of North Carolina people like Greensboro, Durham, Charlotte, Winston-Salem, and I think maybe even Wilmington, North Carolina. So it was just like a bunch of different people in that North Carolina group, and we, just kind of met up from there. But yeah.
That's really cool. And I can't even remember how I got into it. Like, do you remember how you got into it?
Yeah, I do, man. We was a part of a Charlotte group, and I think it was like a split off. And so, like, I just got added because I was kind of cool with everybody anyway. They were like, yeah, just go ahead and add them in. So, I just got to talking and actually met a lot more people through this particular group, too. And that's how I ended up, meeting you when you said, hey, I do a podcast. I said, oh, well, yo, let's link up, man. See what we can make something work.
Yeah, man, that means a lot, man. Because, keep in mind, ladies, and gentlemen, we really haven't met each other from nowhere. Today we just met, so the vibes are just, and we're mad cool on the first. What's your zodiac sign? Just asking.
So my zodiac sign is a Taurus.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I get along with Taurus. I don't know why. I'm an Aquarius, but for some reason, I keep getting along with Tauruses. I don't know why.
Do you know like the moon sign, the sun, and the rising? Like, do you do all those things too?
Oh yeah, my rising and moon sign is both Libra also. So it's just okay. So I'm triple one sign, so I'm really easy breezy with it. So it's just like when I tell you I'm chill, I really don't be on some drama type stuff and
That's
stuff.
Funny. And I think it's because my moon sign's an Aquarius.
Oh really?
Yeah. And then my mom's an Aquarius too, so I kind of got that. I'm like her in a lot of ways. So I think a little bit of that kind of ties into my personality too. And my dad's a Gemini, so that's both air signs. So I'm chill too. Like I'm cool. I go with the flow with anything. But
I can feel that. I can feel that for sure and everything. You have a very positive type of energy. I know. I'm pretty sure that pretty helps. And your motivations of being like a personal trainer and stuff of that nature.
Big time it does, bro. Even when I grew up, my foundation was church. So my granddad was a preacher. And so when I grew up, my dad obviously preacher kid, we kind of brought up in the church as a young dude, So he was always a positive person anyway. My family in general really just positive people. So that's kind of just, that already was in me, number one. And then number two, I have a lot of energy, a whole lot. So that just ties in more to my personality. And even my personal training, I get people motivated. So that's one thing I've been told, just like this guy's very motivating. I like his energy, I like his vibe. I see what he's doing. So I just want to tap in with him, man, and see what kind of value I can bring. So, yeah.
And in regards to the relationship with your clients and everything, you seem to have improved their lives significantly, correct? Like they pretty much give you good reviews to a certain degree?
Yeah, honestly, man, and the way I like to train people, I don't like to train them to be like a forever client. I want them to get to where they want to get to so I can teach them something. Like, I don't want you to have to continue to keep on with me because I want you to learn something from me, because at that point, I wouldn't be doing you a service. I'd be doing you a disservice if I'm not teaching you something that you can use to your own lifestyle. It's kind of like therapy for me. Like, you shouldn't be in therapy for the rest of your life. I think you should take it, learn from it, get healing, and then to the point where you really don't need a therapy, but still check in if you need to. So I take that same thing with my clients. So one of my clients, actually, he'll be leaving me soon because I've taught him enough workouts to where he knows how to work out to maintain his physique. We already got him down, 15 pounds. He's an Army veteran, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Eddie. And so to the point where now this is a lifestyle for him. So he's worked out, multiple days a week. We checked in to make sure that he's in good with his diet. He's got a nutritionist now as well. So we got him well-roundedly packed to where this is a part of his lifestyle now. He doesn't necessarily need me unless I'm a check-in person, because I'm always tapping in with my people. And I told him all the time, like, listen, man, just check in with me anytime you need to. If you have a question, talk to me. I'm here for you, man. So that's the way I like to do it. And that's a lifestyle for him. It's a different change from when he first started to where he's at now.
That's wonderful just to hear, man. It's like, 15 pounds, like, for all that's out there, man, who really be who doesn't really get, like, how weight can actually fluctuate and everything. Some people can pack on, like, 60 pounds, and, like, it'll be so tough to kind of melt that stuff down and everything. It's a whole lifestyle you have to change. Like, in my case and everything, I had a whole Daniel fast. I even spoke about you earlier about it, yeah. And all I was eating was, like, chickpeas, lentils, and quinoa and stuff of that nature. And it was just like, and drinking nothing but water. When I tell you I had no sugar, no bread, nothing, one of the main things I love to eat, like, whether if I know it or not, it was just, I had to knock it out of rotation. I was lightheaded some days, but over time I just kind of grew used to it, because like I feel like my body was losing all those toxins. I was kind of keeping me stocked up. So it's like, when it comes to like this whole personal fitness thing, it's like a whole science to it also. You got to really know your body. So what could work for somebody else might not work for another person,
That's the biggest thing right there, bro. It's learning your own body type and having knowledge of self. That's one thing I also teach too in my academy is knowledge of self, because one thing that I can tell one client is may work the opposite for someone else because of their own lifestyle and the way that they're brought up. But not only that, but their DNA structure. So some people are just naturally going to get big. Some people are just naturally going to stay small. An example would be high metabolism. Some people who have high metabolism typically are going to be more on the slimmer side. So their type of workouts may be a different type of workout than I would give someone who's naturally gets big easily, but they want to lose weight, because they may be hard to lose weight. I'll have to give them a different type of diet versus someone who can easily lose weight, but it's hard for them to gain weight. I have to get them on a completely different diet. But to have them come together in one range to both have them look the way they want to look, I'll come at it different ways, but you have to know your body type in order for me to, to do that. So I think that's one of the most important things about it. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And did you have to go to school for anything like that, or like what is that? Kinesology? I don't know. Kinesiology. Yeah.
Honestly, man, this is funny. I didn't even go to school for kinesiology. I went to school for IT, software and informatics, and so I have just a technical logistics type of background with that. Personal training just honestly came from me eating healthy most of my life, but I didn't know what I was doing until I got older. Like when I started to get into the work field, I was going home and going to sleep. I really wasn't into the fitness anymore, because I ran track and everything in high school, but that was the extent. I didn't know anything about eating to gain weight. I just kind of, did stuff because I knew that's what my coaches told me to do. But as far as when I got older, I was just going home and going to sleep and going to work. And that lifestyle kind of got boring to me. And I just, I didn't like the way I felt. I felt tired all the time. And so something just said, you know what? Do something else. Go to the gym or something, right? So I started that. Did some research, man, and I started to look at different workouts and, things that wanted to, or pretty much information that told me I can look better with these type of workouts. So the first thing was physique. The second thing was I wanted to feel better too. So I did the nutrition, plant-based. So once I started to understand plant-based, I honestly began to look up more information on different types of food to eat to A, gain weight, but to add the nutrients into my body. And so that's what the information came from. So not necessarily a kinesiology degree, but I took a lot of courses on just workouts in general, hence like NSAC certificate, ISSA, which I'm actually going through now for personal training and also nutritionist. So I'm taking classes currently as we speak.
We're always growing. We're always learning, ladies and gentlemen. You can't stop the grind to learn or grow yourself and improve yourself, man. Sure. That's one thing, like, basis-wise, because it's like, I feel like for a majority of my life, I was kind of overweight to a certain degree and everything. Now it's like I'm starting to, like, when I was starting to lose weight, and a whole lot of people started kind of noticing, oh, wow, you lost a whole lot of weight. You probably can't tell on the camera because I'm wearing this big old shirt. But it's just like, it just became a part of, like, my daily habits. Like, it's just like, I would have a whole lot of energy too, but nowhere for it to go. So I would, like, go to, like, just, go for long jogs and everything down the street and up. It'd be, like, probably about 1 to 2 miles, like, a day and everything. And it was just like, not running the whole go whole. I'm not Superman. Like, I'll rest a little bit.
You do enough to get to where you're trying to get to.
Yeah, trying to get where I try to get to. Yeah. But it's just like, even things I'll try to add certain things. Like I'll try to do push-ups and everything. Push-ups is like my main thing now and stuff. Like I'll wake up and I'll try to do like 4 sets of like 50 reps and everything.
That's good.
Like really just to start my day off and stuff like that. Sometimes I'll kind of mess it up. Like, and like maybe I might skip out and I might forget. I'll be like, okay, I need to just put this in the middle of the day and everything just so I can get it in. At least to do a 200. And then like sometimes I would do like 200 when I woke up and 200 before I go to bed. But then I was kind of messing up my sleep cycle because, you know, you're active like that, you know, you keep up.
Your body was different. It was like switching. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, it was like switching. So it's like, you know, it's just a matter of like scheduling and trying to make it happen. So it's like just trying to build a little discipline before I really go into the gym like full time type stuff. So it's just like, you know, to know that like somebody like you just kind of walked just how to group me. I didn't know you from nowhere. Like this is like all that you do is just, maybe it's just fate. Who knows what it is and stuff of that nature. You want to go to detail like what, how much your sessions are and like your payment plans and stuff of that nature?
Yeah, absolutely. So right now, man, I actually have an app. I created an application. It's called Rise and Rise Fitness. Rise with an and symbol, Rise and then Fitness. You'll see it actually in the Play Store and it's in the App Store. It's a free application. I do consultations. You can actually book in the website a $10 consultation with me. And what you can also do with that is I personal train like physically 3 sessions per week. That's 12 sessions total. For 1 month, it'll be $150. And what you get with that is a weekly consultation with me to where we actually map out your goals. I'll write you out a whole workout plan. I come in and work out with you, or we can even do virtual sessions together. And so that's one thing that comes with that 150 package. What you also get is a nutritionist. So I have a nutritionist that I work with, and they will get you on a specific diet plan just for you. Catered just for your body. Like we talked about with DNA, everybody's body's different. It's the same thing with food. Everybody can't eat certain foods. So my nutritionist will actually work with you specifically to get you to your goals exactly where you want to go versus if you want to gain weight or if you want to lose weight. Also, if you have any injuries or just different things that I may think you need some extra help on, I do have a physical physical therapist that I have that'll work with you specifically because some people have, you know, weaker ankles than others, or some people may have imbalances in their body. So I'll get with the physical therapist with them, and we'll incorporate those workouts as well as the workouts that I have to get you to your goals as well. And so you get all of that within that $150 package.
Yeah, dude, he does all that. You see how he just like nonchalantly say he makes an app too? Like it's like that's like a no big deal for him. It's like, yeah, sure, I make apps and stuff, you know. The schedule on my app. Like people be like, oh no, just do it like Google form or something like that. Dude has a whole app. So it's just like, you know, but beyond like, you know, fitness and everything, I know like, you do YouTube and you run like a radio show and everything. You want to like go deeper, like, you know, what motivated you to get into that?
Absolutely, man. So I do a podcast as well. It's a Rise and Rise Academy podcast. That's on YouTube. You can check it out. And so what I started to do was promote the business out a lot, you know, just kind of talking to people like how we're talking now. And I actually got promoted to have my own radio show. So I got interviewed for that process with WDRB Media Radio, and they have a channel in iHeartRadio, and they actually gave me a time and a day to where I can promote and actually have a radio show with the Rise and Rise Academy radio show every Thursday at 5 o'clock p.m. on the iHeartRadio application. So if you download iHeartRadio, it's a free app for those who don't know. Search the channel WDRB Media. And on Thursday, specifically at 5 o'clock every week, you can check me out, the Rise and Rise Academy radio show. So that's how I got invested with them. Yep.
Okay, that's wonderful. That's some good stuff. It's good to have a bunch of things going for you and everything to keep distracting. You know, we have people out here who have nothing much to do but like to hate on people or whatever. You know, like it's just like, ain't got no time, man. You got to do something, man. You got to have goals too, bro. Like it's like, so it's just like for you to even hop on my podcast and even like take time out your day for me to reach my goals. I've been lacking this month, especially. I've been trying to reach 16 and everything. I only did like one last week, and that was one for like the whole month. I'm like, I need to really double down because I don't like if I'm really serious about this. I got to really get out there to really make this stuff work and everything. So it's just everything from discipline, your goals, and just lifestyle wise. You just got to keep your eye on the ball type stuff. And I'm really believing that. So to know that you really do all sorts of things like that and everything, and like, well, you're in your 20s, right?
I'm actually in my 30s, man.
Really, 30? young soul. Still have a young soul. Want to never
Yeah.
guess and everything. Black don't crack for nothing.
That's real.
It's really, really real. And everything. If we had to just go into detail, I know you're from Salisbury and everything, you know, but you pretty much been living in Charlotte for like a while and everything, you know, like I have people on who just like, they're always from somewhere else and everything.
Yeah.
And it's just like, so it's like, if you were to really go into detail, like the differences of how things are in Salisbury to Charlotte, like how would you describe it in your words?
Absolutely, man. And first and foremost, man, shout out to Salisbury, Rowan County. That's where I grew up. And so I grew up there. It's probably about 35 minutes out from Charlotte. And what got me going to Charlotte is UNC Charlotte. So I went to school there, and I got my software informatics degree, information technology concentration. And so I started there in 2008, graduated in 2013, and I stayed here because I actually got my 9-to-5 job working for an IT consulting firm. And that's actually what I currently do still. So I do that 9 to 5, and I do the personal training just kind of as another hustle that I do, and I work around my normal schedule so I can make time for the radio show, so I can make time for my clients, so I can make time for my workouts. I also do content on my Instagram that you can also check out that I do just honestly free basic workouts that I do there. And I also take pictures and I do videos on different foods that I cook. So for those who don't know, I use a mostly plant-based diet. So I know we actually talk, you know, off camera. I eat the same thing that you eat, you know what I'm saying? Most of my grains are lentils, chickpeas, black rice, you know, just different things of sort of like that. And I add vegetables into my diet for gaining weight and also losing weight proportion. So I use a lot of that information and I post it on my Instagram page and my Facebook page that you can check out. And I do videos on YouTube. I actually did a video on a vegetable pasta that I made. I used lentil noodles for my pasta. And so what I did was I cooked it just like regular spaghetti pasta. I used my tomato basil sauce or whatever kind of sauce that you would like to use. I saute vegetables and then mix it all together. But I've used that whole video form and I posted on my YouTube channel, you know, and so that's pretty much what I've been doing here in Charlotte. And so I've been in Charlotte really ever since, man.
Yeah, well, I definitely need to get on your following for sure, man.
Yeah,
because it's like everything you're saying, it sounds like a freaking message from God. It's just like you're looking for somebody that does plant-based stuff, looking for somebody that does workouts.
Absolutely.
Here he is.
Listen, and I grew up. I was never really like, I grew up eating anything I wanted. I was the one, I grew up in the country, man, so Southern boy, you know, ribs, chicken, barbecue, you know what I'm saying, bacon. Like, every breakfast, bro, was potatoes and bacon. Potatoes, bacon, and eggs. Like, seriously, that was my breakfast every day. Toast, waffles, man, you name it. I ate everything. I ate it all. You dig what I'm saying? So this transition from that to plant-based, like, was a shocker to a lot of people, you know what I'm saying, that I grew up with, and even my family. But honestly, they kind of gravitated towards me and just said, well, listen, you know, we'll cook whatever you want to cook, you know what I'm saying? So I told them what to cook, you know, and it's a lifestyle change. And I actually got a lot of my friends that are doing the plant-based as well. Now, I'm not going to say they're as strict as I am, but at least it got their minds thinking to different lifestyles. So like one of my guys, he's actually a comedian. Shout out to Julio Hennessy. We did a video on my YouTube channel to where we're getting him into the workout scheme. And he actually tried doing pescatarian for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Just because I've kind of helped him motivate him into a different lifestyle change, even his wife too, you know. So just being that type of beacon, just to give everybody that I interact with a little bit of information of what I know. If that can help them in their lifestyle, you know, then so be it. And that's another reason why I did, you know, the radio show and the podcast, to just kind of show a different side to what I'm doing. Like, you can change your diet and still be cool. You can change your diet and get to your goals, whether it's gain weight or lose weight. And that whole protein myth, that's one thing that everybody was asking me about when I had a plant-based mindset, was where do you get your protein? I don't get it from, you can't get it from, you know, vegetables. And I highly disagree, because I'm a living testament, because I've also gained almost over 12 pounds eating just straight plants and vegetables. And it wasn't even a protein shake that I needed. Yeah. Now, granted, you can use a protein shake as a meal replacement, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But it's really about a lifestyle change. If you want to do that, that's one thing that I'm actually gravitating towards. But again, my cheat meals are seafood. So I will eat seafood occasionally. You know what I'm saying? That's why I say I'm a mostly plant-based. I don't really associate myself as a vegan like I used to be, but I changed that whole mindset because most people, if you understand veganism, it's everything pertaining to meat, animals, and that's completely clothes and everything. I'll still wear some leather, bro. Like, I'll still wear things like that. So I'm not going to consider myself vegan. I'm mostly plant-based. So mostly plant-based means a meal that's honed around mostly vegetables. You can still eat meat on a plant-based diet, but just as long as your source is mostly plants. You dig what I'm saying? That's one thing that I've always catered to. So as long as your diet is 75% mostly plant-based, I think that'll be a good goal for anybody to start with. So they're not jumping into it cold turkey, but they can kind of scoot into that lifestyle if that's what they want to do,
Take it from me, ladies and gentlemen, like, it's not like it's impossible, dude. Like, I'm African, like, we have a lot of meat in our soups and everything like that, and it's just, like, it's good to change things around. So at least, one, you appreciate, like, the past diets that you had, like, oh, yeah, that stuff was good, but this is actually might be better for me, and it's just, like, and it shows, like, discipline, it shows growth and everything. You don't want to be the same person like you were yesterday. You always want to get better than you were yesterday and stuff of that nature. You got to do something. You got to challenge yourself. You can't be the same person for a whole decade. You can't just be, you still eating cheeseburgers? You still eating stuff like that? You still eating, you know what I'm saying? Exactly. It's just like you want to be able to become like
that still personality.
That best type person of yourself, best version of yourself. And sometimes it can start from like the little things, your habits, your diet, stuff like that. Then what you say to yourself, what you consume on social media. And stuff like that. Definitely want to take a break out social media from time to time. I'm mostly on it because I got stuff I got to do for the podcast and stuff of that nature. He's on it because he got a whole lot of stuff going for himself on that end. But it's like, just on social media, your life revolves around social media. Who's got this? Who's got that? Stuff like that. It all claims to your diet. Really start focusing on yourself. Look in the mirror. Say, what can I do today? What can I accomplish today to be better than I was yesterday? You know what I'm saying?
That's facts. And diet, bro, is not just about you. And you actually just said it the best. It's not just about food. Diet is really your lifestyle. You can diet from watching TV. You dig what I'm saying? Yeah. If it's going to get you to a different goal, then yeah. Sometimes you may have to cut off certain things and pour more into the things that you want to do to get to where your goals are. Like if someone wants to go to school, but they may be too lazy or they're putting too much time into playing video games and getting on Netflix, you may have to diet from playing video games and Netflix to focus more on your studies to get you in your school, number one, and number two, to get good grades. Because you don't want to just go to school and just fail. Some people just don't. They try to do both and they may end up doing too much. So it's a lifestyle change, like you said. You may have to cut off certain social medias. You may have to cut off certain people in your life, because certain people can hold you back. I remember we spoke off camera, because you were trying to move forward and certain people may have tried to hold you back, but you had to kind of disassociate yourself from certain people and getting you to a better position. And that honestly got you into networking with different people to help elevate you into who you are and who you're trying to become anyway.
The keyword is never doubt yourself, man. You'd be surprised the kind of things you can accomplish on your own, man. Like I said this on my past episode of podcast, I went from like literally being a C, D, F student in high school, middle school, didn't care about anything, changed my life around, separated myself, isolated myself. When you're isolating yourself, man, that's God really just like seasoning you really for what's next in your life and everything. Then you go into freaking university, A-B student, graduated cum laude and everything. Who would have guessed? Wow. Who would have guessed? A complete 360. But it was already in you. It's already in you. Like God already puts these things in you right now. It's already a matter of just taking the steps to really just realizing your potential and making it into a reality. So if you have a vision for like a certain way that you want to look, a certain way that you want to feel, a certain group of people you want to be at, it's all about taking that first step. Any vision that you have for yourself can be realized and everything. Don't think for a second it can't. Build a relationship with God. Pray as many times as you can. I'm really I'm starting to beat myself up for it because I really didn't get to pray today and everything. I was supposed to pray this morning and everything. That's one of the main things I wanted to focus on this year is really building a relationship with God. But it's like, even if you don't have time to pray and everything, just be able to have time to have gratitude. Like, God, just thank you for getting me this far. God, thank you for, just really be grateful. Switch your mindset up, bro. Your mind, it all starts from your mind. That's where it starts, But back on your mindset and everything, because it's like for you to try to juggle between so many things, how do you find like a balance for doing everything?
Fam, I'm going to be honest. Like, I'm going to just say this quote came from my mom. I used to pray like in grade school, like I was always told from my grandma, you know, pray before you take your test, and you know what I'm saying, you'll do good, right? My mom told me one time, because I wasn't studying like that, but I was praying because I was like, man, I hope I pass this test. And my mom told me something that was so valuable. She said, "Still, like, son, if you study enough, you won't need to pray." And so I took that and was like, preparation. That's key. That's you doing the work and getting the blessing. Because if you know, God helps those who help themselves. Yeah. Blessings come down when you help yourself. You can't just pray for $1 million and expect to do nothing and get $1 million. Faith without work is dead. So one thing that I do to keep myself balanced is a routine. Preparation is key. And being grateful. You hit a lot on actually this specific topic is being grateful. Even though you got up this morning, you may not have prayed, you had different things that you know you needed to do. These are routines, and being you, the best version of yourself, and being grateful. Thanking God for situations just like this, because now you're able to learn. If you can learn something from me, if you can, I'm able to learn something from you. That's a blessing on its own, maybe even a blessing in disguise. You dig what I'm saying? So you can honestly take that and utilize that in your life. So for me, routine was big. I would get up and be grateful. I actually used to write down 3 things that I was grateful for every night before I go to bed. And I would wake up in the morning and write down 3 things that I was grateful for that I would want to happen even in my future life. And I was always set that as my mindset in the morning to be the person that I want to be, meaning who I want to become. And so I would get up every morning and start that routine to get my mindset ready for the day. So whatever came my way, we all know life is going to happen. Yeah. So it's all about how we respond to life. You can either let life break you or you can let life make you. You dig? It's always like that old saying, when life gives you lemons, make lemonade. That's literally what it's going to be, but it's about your mindset. So my mindset is always to try to be the best version of myself, meaning to show love to people. If I can give back to someone else, I actually fill my cup up for me to overflow into somebody else. So in order for me to show love to people, I really have to love myself. So every day I have to prepare my mindset to really love who I am and love who I'm becoming, so I can pour into someone else, so I can love somebody else. Because I think when we get up in life, I think it's our job to pour into people and to make life better the best way that we can. If I can help one person, I think I'm doing God a good justice, because God loves to see us love ourselves. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of messed up things in this world going on, man. We're in a recession. It's a lot of hate. I know we spoke offline about people hating. Yo, that's the thing that's going to hold us back. And just to pour into the black community for a little bit, one thing that I see a lot is we actually disrespect ourselves so much. And I see that a lot in our people, man. And I personally try to not be a statistic and to be the opposite. I'm going to pour into my brothers. I'm going to pour into my sisters. You dig? Like, even though I may have a blood brother, you know what I'm saying, I also have not a blood brother relationship, but I would consider you as my brother. So I want to make sure that I pour into you because I want to see you do good in this life, you dig? So whatever I can add, I'm going to make sure I do that for you. And anything that you need from me, man, all you have to do is ask me. And that's one thing I do. Now, there is a line of respect, too. So I make sure that I set myself a respect standard to not take disrespect as well. Because even when I grew up, man, I took a lot of disrespect because I disrespected myself initially, but I was a product of my environment as well. So I took a lot in separating myself from certain people to realize the respect level that I have for myself. And now I'm able to pour into people in a much more stable rate versus an unstable way. I think a lot of us have an unstable mindset. So I want to pour into everybody else the best way that I can to kind of help elevate ourselves as people. You dig? So
yeah, man.
Yeah.
I can feel a lot of that on so many levels, man. You know, like operating in love, that's a good way to like fight the system as a whole. You know, 'cause the foundation of the system is built on the lust for power, the desire to be better than others, to compete against each other. And I feel like with us, it's more of like a caricature with that. You know, I feel like there's always someone just trying to like operate through the very toxic side of their emotions and everything. Everyone can be envious. Envious is just a slight feeling. Yeah, we all have it in us. But it's really, once again, come back to your mindset. It's like, oh wow, that guy, he works out a whole lot. Like, dang, I wish I could be like that. That's the envy right there. But then the next step, is it gonna be hating on him? Like, he probably like took steroids. He probably, you know, just trying to like invalidate him to try to make it so. That's not a good mindset. But it's like, wow, he works so hard. He probably very, very disciplined in himself. Maybe if I discipline myself, I could probably get like that. Maybe I can connect with him. Maybe he could teach me something. there's always someone you can learn from. Somebody younger than you, somebody older than you. There's like my brother's friends and everything that be doing music videos. I ain't dropped one music video since. But it's like, I never hate on it. How can you just hate on it? I'd be inspired. Like, man, this guy can do it at his young age. I'm still young myself. I can still probably make it myself. It's just like God introduces us to people that are reflections of whether what we don't want to be or what we do want to be, to an extent, whether in one way or another. And it's up to us to really learn, like, what we got to learn from it. And some people might disrespect you. And it's really like, how you react to it is up to you. You could probably try to disrespect them back. You could probably try to just let it go, forget about it, move on, focus on yourself or whatever. Or you could hold a grudge to him so much, so focus on him and say, what can I do to destroy him? And that wastes time. You're just poisoning yourself at that point. So it's always take a positive mindset when it comes to that. Really look to your future. Look to your future. Focus on what you're trying to be tomorrow, but also work on yourself today. Like the present and the future, whatever happened in the past, you can't change it, but you can change your future through what you do in your present right now. So it's just always got to keep in mind of things like that and stuff of that nature. So it's like, with this whole fitness situation, have you ever met people that just probably didn't want it a whole love, that probably weren't consistent? You ain't got to like slander nobody or nothing. But have you seen cases where it's just they just weren't applying themselves the best that they could? Oh
yeah, that's a lot of people, man. That's why they look for a trainer, because they can't, do it themselves. So they think that if they pay a personal trainer, that's gonna make them do it. Now, granted, you should if you're gonna invest money into it, But again, this is a part about accountability. At the end of the day, the work is on ourselves. Like if I was out of shape and if I pay a personal trainer, I can pay them and they can tell me everything I need to do. But if I don't do it, that's me not taking accountability for myself. So we all have to have some level of accountability in order for us to motivate. And now, granted, a trainer can motivate you too, but we have to motivate ourselves. But here's the difference. I think with me, I like to use motivation as fuel, but it has to come from within. So you have to know what motivates you in your own self, and your life will really tell you a lot about what it is that you use to motivate. And what I've used or what I've seen that motivates us is something that can make us a little bit sad about ourselves, but also a little bit of anger, a little bit of passion behind it, but use that as fuel for positivity, and to where you can now utilize it as a positive. So if I used to be upset with myself because maybe I never used to speak up for myself, right? I use that motivation to say, well, now I'm gonna become curious. What can I now do to not be this way? I now use that as motivation to wake up every day to say, I'm not going to continue to be the same person that I am right now. So I have to change my mindset, because whatever I was thinking about before led me into these situations. I now must change my mindset in order for me to now be a whole different, not different person, but to reach a goal that I never would have thought I could reach. But I actually can. Like you said, everything is within us. I would have never thought that you would get C's and D's, bro. Like you articulate your words so well, but like you said, it's always in us. It just took a shift. Something in your life motivated you to want to get A's and B's and graduating cum laude. There was a passion behind that, right? Yeah. Everybody has a passion. Everybody has that motivation to strive to do better. You have to dig deep within yourself. So for me, like I said, if it was me wanting to be a better version of myself, I had to think different. And I had to use that motivation of something that actually made me really sad about myself, but that was a form of self-hate. Yeah. So in order for me to battle self-hate, I must become curious about who I am. Who am I specifically, and where do I align myself with people? I always align myself as being a strong figure character. So now I have to become who this internalized person is, but I have to do that with practice. So for anybody who wants to work out or want to look better or even feel better, or utilize yourself for better nutrition, now is the time. This is what you want to do. How will I actually think about this and get my mindset to where I want to get to? This is where I would come in and look at your life and say, well, this is what you want to do, and utilize this motivation that you may not necessarily like about yourself to make sure that you never stay the same. Mm-hmm. Always continue to grow. Despise the things that you don't like about yourself so much to where you now become curious as to why you even got there in the first place, and utilize that to say, I will never be this way again, because it's now pulling me back from who I really want to become, because I know who I am internally and I know where I can get to. Most people know that they can look the best. They're just not doing the steps. Now you have the opportunity to do the steps to get you to your goals. It's hard because it's different than where you were before. Now you must change the mindset to love the process of where you want to become in order for you to get to your goals. And you'd be surprised about the lifestyle change that's going to come with that. I woke up and had that mindset to say I will never go back to being out of shape again because it held me back from being my best version, to the point where when I was consistent, keyword, consistent with that mindset, I woke up one day and I not only saw a change in myself, but everybody else saw a change within myself as well. But it shocked me because I didn't think that everybody else saw it. But like you said, you can feel the presence in people. You can feel the love in people to where I knew it was genuine. And that's when I knew I started to become a whole better version of myself. I'm not going to say I've changed into a new person. I've always been this person, but it took practice and it took a mindset shift to say I'm going to stay this course because I love who I'm becoming. And now I want to even elevate that. Like you said, you want to be 1% better. I want to be 1% better than I was yesterday. It's okay to make mistakes though too, because some people take that and say, well, now I made a mistake, I must not really be who this person is. No, you are.
Not true.
That's not true at all. You have obstacles in life. The devil always says you can't get past this boiling hot lava across this, crack that is going to get you to a better self. Well, now God is here to say, well, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to quit or are you going to continue? Because God is always here to back you up. That's that everlasting universal knowledge to where it says, you know what, this fire is not going to burn me. Either you walk straight through it or you walk around it, but the mindset is it's not going to stop you from where you're going to get to. And God always finds that way. It's kind of taking that leap of faith. Yeah. You jump across that cliff, God says, oh yeah, it's a pillow down there. But it took that jump first because God's not going to tell you the answer. You have to go and trust him and take that leap. Because once you take that action, that is the key to get the blessing. Yeah. God helps those who help themselves. Faith without work is dead. The work is taking that action, that leap of faith. So anybody who wants to get better and wants to work out, you want that mindset shift, come to me. I do coaching as well. That's a part of my whole lifestyle change when it comes to you getting better with fitness, right? I can help you, push you, but at the same time, I want you to take that leap. I'm not going to do anything that's going to hurt anybody, but this is a lifestyle change that's going to cater to you for what it is that you want. You dig? And so that is what's going to help someone change that mindset so that way they're not staying stable. They're more into becoming who they're supposed to be anyway.
Yeah, man, faith is such an integral part about growth also, man. It's just like, there were points in my life where you can be really in darkness. It's like, man, where do I go from here? What do I do? Where's the answer? Where can I go? But at the same time, it's like, it's really just up to like really not just you, right, trying to figure it out for yourself, but really just keeping faith that things are just going to be all right regardless, as long as you keep on your path, as long as you keep on your purpose. Stay on your purpose, ladies and gentlemen. I swear that will get you so far and everything. Like I said, like I'm Liberian, I'm African and everything, so it's just like, our country is in shambles, and it's been like that way after 2 civil wars. It's hard to get that stuff cleaned up. There are kids whose parents brought them, whose parents came in this country, they were born right here, and they don't take any of the opportunities.
The war's been going on, and it's been so shambles. I think, isn't like kids and stuff, aren't they participating?
Child soldiers back in Liberia and everything. Dude, when I tell you, bro, it's apocalyptic, man. It was so bad to the point where it's just like, it's a lot of tribalism that comes with that also. Like, I see, like, people in my tribe, like babies and everything, were taken from their parents, like groups of these kids, and they were buried alive. It's terrible. So it's just like, I always made a vow to myself that I would not like go out of my way to bring down any other black man, bring down any other black woman, nothing. Even if they do me any type of way, don't respond in it, because there's so much damages that come with it. Just an argument in like a civil war 100%. Literally turned like kids to being buried alive. Big kids that had nothing to do with it. That's very disturbing. That's very graphic. It's messed up. But when you keep that stuff in mind and everything, when I'm here, like I'm in front of a Target. Like what kind of first world problems do I have? Like maybe I might not have gas in my car. Maybe the gas prices go up. Some people, like, it's so terrible. I'm not saying Liberia is like backward like that. We're trying to get it together, but there's still a whole lot of work to be done.
It's always
and
work,
everything.
Man. Yeah.
And that's what motivates me. You know what I'm saying? It's just like I'm the first and the last grandchild my grandfather saw graduate before he even passed.
That's respect, bro.
And it sucks, like he won't be able to see like where I go from there. It's sad. It'll make you want to shed a tear. But at the same token, I have to keep that blessing in mind. Yeah, sure, like my license was suspended to the point where I had to stay here. I wanted to go to DC to go to Howard, so I could go to graduate school. This license sirens. I don't know.
It's so many sirens that's been going on, man. Yeah, it's been crazy.
But at the same time, it's just like, back to subject matter at hand and everything. The blessing, and that's why life is so bittersweet. The bitterness from like me getting my license suspended. The sweetness was I got to spend a lot of time with my grandfather in his last days. I even interviewed him on a previous episode. You should probably check it out also. He dropped a whole lot of gems and everything. He passed away at 72 years old. My great grandmother's still alive, which is crazy, in her 90s. But it's like at the same token, it's just like, he was a businessman. He did things his own way and stuff of that nature. That was just the kind of person he was. He helped a lot of Liberians in this country find a life for themselves here. So there's a lot of people that turn up to the funeral and everything, and that's just his spirit goes through me too.
I love that, bro.
And that's what I try to live through also when I try to get my degree and everything. I want to be able to start.
That's your motivation.
Yeah, definitely want to start my own businesses also to give my people back home a place to start off when they get here so their kids can be able to go to school, and then it just goes on from there. The Vietnamese can do it, the Koreans do it, the Asian folk, they do it, a lot of Indians do it. We can do it also, but we have to be organized. That's what's messed up with Liberia too. That buck and the crab mentality is all over. It's not just in in America. It's all over, man. People just can't seem to see people do well in themselves. Not saying that they're also winning also. And that's the mindset a lot of us have to adopt when moving forward and everything. Be sure to listen to yourself and everything. Be able to look in the mirror like, hey, I could do better. Or, hey, I didn't have to do that. I don't have to respond like that. Really look in to really understand like your value as an individual and how it can really connect with others. That's what I'm saying.
Speaking some gems right now, bro.
That's what it is. No, I'm so like I'll be on this podcast. I'll be dropping gems, man. You're gonna get something from these podcasts. Like, I'm not doing this stuff for show. Like, I'm doing this positivity that comes with this also. Just like this positivity that comes with you as being like a podcaster yourself, but also being a fitness trainer and everything. There's so many lives that you probably changed and everything, doing the whole fitness stuff and everything. Absolutely. And it's just like you don't know where that's going to take them to. Their confidence levels boost up. Who knows what they could have done,
Absolutely, man. And I think you said something that's so key. I think people need to go back and listen to what you said. You said your grandfather had passed away at 72, right?
Yeah.
But he was a businessman, right? And you idolized that because there was a lot of people at his funeral. I got 3 things to even unpack. One thing that I've done one part of changing my life was to write down what I want people to say about me at my funeral. When I do die, everybody's gonna die, but for me, I wanted someone. If I have a funeral, I want everybody to be there. I want everybody that was all in my corner to be there to say, you know what, man, this dude at the end of the day loved people. This dude at the end of the day rocked with his people. You know what I'm saying? He always took a stand on everything that he believed in, and he took a stand for everybody who believed in him and vice versa. You know what I'm saying? But I actually wrote that down. I wrote that down because I wanted to make sure that I was a living testimony, because anything that's opposite of what I wanted people to say at my funeral, I wanted to make sure I did not do that in my lifestyle. Because how I'm living right now is going to be a testament to someone's life, to where if they do find out I passed away, they can say, dang, you know what, this dude was a loving dude. But if I was a hateful person, they'll come back and say, this dude, man, he was a hateful. I'm kind of glad he was dead. I would never want that. I would never want anybody to say that about anybody at their funeral. But sometimes it happens, like you said, it's how we respond to stuff.
Yeah.
I can respond, like you said, that dark place. Yeah. I feel like some people have been there. Yeah. And I think that you have to go there to know yourself, because everybody has a different dark place. My dark place is I don't care. I could care less. And that can come from a dark place, bro, because that comes with so many different territories. So I had to learn how to operate out of the light. Even though everybody goes to a dark place, I have to make sure I'm a beacon of light to something. That is a beacon of light for me, to say when I die, I wouldn't want this person to come back at my funeral to say, nah, he was a hateful dude. Yeah. At the end of the day, he said what he needed to say. He came from a respect level. But like your grandfather, bro, it was an identity. He was a life force that you said, I'm going to be like him, but I'm going to be a testament and a legacy part. My grandfather also, man, he's an idol of mine, you know what I'm saying? So I want to make sure that I do a legacy proud. Yeah. I will make sure that I do everything I can to be a great Stapleton, to continue a great legacy, and to show that within my lifestyle that I'm living. You dig what I'm saying? And so that's one thing that I actually took a lot from what you were saying too, because I think as black people, man, we have a different identity. We have a different role model instance. I think we need to have positive role models in our life, because I remember back in the day, it used to be cool to be stupid. You know, I remember everybody who used to like get bad grades, they used to think that was cool. The inside of me said that's not cool. But if I would have said that, the cool people would be like laughing at you and stuff like that. Yeah. But again, that was coming from a place of the self-hate, because I knew in myself, I always wanted to be a good student. I always wanted to be a good brother, a good son, you know, just an all-around good person, you dig? And so I had to kind of embody that. But it took separating myself from the people who, that crab in the bucket mentality, to say, let me get away, let me find myself, let me learn myself, to know the better version of myself, to understand that it is possible. And so different things in my lifestyle told me that it's possible. And I think that is a self-motivation for myself. If I can be an identity for someone else, yo, it's cool to be smart. It's cool to eat healthy. It's cool to drink water. You know what I'm saying? Some people don't think it's cool to drink water. No, bro, water is life. Anywhere that has life, there's water. I remember, you can even look this up, Mars at one point used to have water. That was their first form. Actually, that was Earth's first form of life, was bacteria. Where you find bacteria, there's water. So you got to think about that, man. I always like to idolize things that's cool. For me, I think it's cool to show love to people. I think it's cool to bring people up. You dig what I'm saying? I always think it's cool to back people up. Like you said, there could be, you can interact with negative people all day, but that doesn't necessarily mean you have to be negative.
Exactly.
You don't have to be that. If you hang around 9 drug dealers, more than likely you'll probably be the 10th one, because it's who you surround yourself with. Yeah. And you can be this beacon of light, but if no one's going to gravitate towards you, it's okay to move on. It's okay to move forward. And again, there may be people that come with you, and that's actually perfectly fine. There may be nobody that come with you, but it's always going to be a magnet. If you are really, truly, and lovingly who you are as a person, you'll automatically have people gravitate towards you that align with you. And I think that's the key to finding that, you know, if you want to find love too, that's one way to find it, really, is to be more of who you are and put yourself out there to be that best person, because no one can love you right if you don't love yourself right.
Yeah, man, no, definitely. And different forms of self-love come in different forms, whether it's just working out, trying to gain knowledge, being around the right people and everything. You know, love is a reflection of what you're willing to settle for in life, too, also. You know, if you're going to settle for disrespect and everything, not saying disrespect is what you make it, too. You don't have to respond to disrespect. You know, sometimes disrespect is just really just them, you know, really trying to project how they feel about themselves.
A lot of it is them, exactly, bro. And that's one thing that I've noticed about myself. The more times that I've gotten disrespected was because I've shown disrespect to myself that was portrayed outside, even though I might not have noticed it at first. But it took a lot, like you said, self-love comes now with self-reflection. You know, and shout out to Coach Lynch Hunt. He has a book out that you can get on Apple Music. You can get it on their podcast, but he has an audio book that talks about self-reflection, self-love, and it's different levels of self, like self-imagery, but it talks about the different levels for you to go through in order for you to change your life of who you are. It's a perspective that he has, because he used the same perspective to change his life. You dig what I'm saying? So you can also look him up on YouTube, you know what I'm saying? But he's also additive into my life that helped me formulate a little bit more of who I am into who I'm becoming as well. So I think a lot of the self-love comes from knowledge of self, and I think that's one of the key factors into becoming more and so who you are with self-love. And that's one thing that helped me out. I noticed how much of a people pleaser I used to be, and it only came from the fact that I actually had a lot of self-love. I had to find that within myself to understand how to portray myself to where I don't get much disrespect anymore, or I don't tolerate it at all, because I understand where it comes from, but I also understand how to move in certain circles. But it took practice, so I had to put myself out there. I might have been afraid to talk to certain people, but it took that little bit of self-love in me to say, nah, you love everybody around you. It's okay to talk to everybody else. You don't have to necessarily be afraid to be who you are, because when you're afraid and approach people with a afraid mentality, you get afraid actions back. You get scary tactics back. So when you show people that you're not fearful, when you show people that you're self-loving, when you show people that you don't tolerate disrespect, that comes from self-love. People won't treat you that way. They may try you, but it's how you respond. So if you respond with self-love, you respond with self-respect, they're not going to disrespect you at all.
Yeah, sure. And there's always like those psychotics, those psychopaths and everything that try to take you out of character just for the sake to get drama going and everything. And you know, really get into the habit, ladies and gentlemen, of just trying to pray for your enemies, bro. I swear, you know, because at the same time, you want everybody to be happy. God put us on this world to live, and to live is to be happy also. You know, you got to feel sorry for anybody, not in a sense of just pity and look down on them, but you got to pity people on the sense of just like, wow, like their lifeline is really based on other people's like embarrassment, humiliation, or suffering. And just imagine what they've probably been through and everything, and like, you know, and how they're probably not even processing it the right way. I'm learning even to this day to process traumas in my past, whether if it comes from like people that you trusted, you know, family members that, you know, probably did you a certain type of way that probably could have looked out for you and that just didn't. You know, as you get older, you learn the, you know, the whole treasure that comes with forgiveness and everything is really just you're unleashing yourself, you're freeing yourself from like the grudges, the hatred and stuff. You gotta free yourself, man, because all that is poisonous. To hold anger and grudges against people, that's like a poison, but you drinking it, not the person that you're hating it. You're the one who's drinking it. Always got to keep that in mind and everything, you know, mindset and all, you know, consistency and all. It's all just a process. You're gonna come through stumbles. That's what comes with being human, come as being a human being. And I feel like that's the beauty of being human, man. It's like we're not perfect. Only God is perfect and everything. And that's the love that he shares for us. Is just like, you know, that yin yang type stuff. You know, their lives are short. They don't got it all together, but they might figure it out. Maybe they might not, you know, but at the same time, they're trying. And that's the beauty about the human spirit, is to really to keep pushing to figure things out.
Super Saiyan, baby.
Super Saiyan. Oh, we got an anime fan here too?
Hey, man, Goku, bro. That's my number one character, man, because I idolize myself with him. Everybody knows that, you know what I'm saying? When I grew up, that was my character, bro.
No,
yeah.
What are you saying, bro? Goku was that main person for me too. That's the thing. Black people really identify with Dragon Ball Z. Like, I speak about this from time to time.
Black people watch Dragon Ball Z, bro. They secretly watch that shit. You know what I'm saying?
But do you know why though? There's certain allegorical elements that appeals to us. You know, I'm explaining it to you like this. Okay, you'd have Goku. Okay, he was like an alien shot from a different culture. He didn't even realize till later on in his life. Okay, and like apparently they weren't the best of people, you know, they weren't perfect, but they were powerful to a certain degree. Whereas like a certain alien, white alien, I'm not trying to put no things out here, I'm just saying, a white alien who referred to his race as monkeys, you know, despite how much work and power they did, you called them monkeys. Just showcasing your ignorance and your fear anyway, and everything, and to the point where he had to wipe them all out, and he just looked down upon them. And then you come this humble, kind-hearted human being, and not human, he's saying Saiyan being, and everything, that it just operates through love and empathy, and like showed mercy on people, but still try to challenge himself and get strong. I ain't like how they portray him in Super and everything. They kind of feel as a goofball a little bit, but it's just at the same time, my Goku was the one that was just literally on Planet Namek. Still showed mercy to this character and everything, you know, still battle ready and everything, still pure of heart and everything. Yeah, no, Z had like best fights and everything, you know. That's why I like identify with Gohan and Piccolo and all. They just reflect so many reflections of like the black experience to a certain degree, you know, that you can change, you know, from Piccolo's standpoint, you can change, you can become this like, you know, this hardened person and still turn to be this like this loving figure, this respected loving figure that looks out for like all and everything, like in the Cell Saga. Or like you could be like somebody like Krillin, and maybe you might not have a whole lot of like confidence in yourself, but you could still stand by like your friends and everything, support them no matter what. You know, that's just stuff like that. You know, or maybe a Goku where it's just like you still reconnect to your culture and still be able to rise to your, you know, full potential despite people fearing what you're capable of doing, you know. And or maybe like in Vegeta where it's like so many traumas, so many things taken from him, so many ways he carried himself, he could still settle in to live like a very balanced life in himself, you know. It's just like, you know, that's why so many black people like really reflect and connect with Dragon Ball Z. It's not just about the fights, it's also about, you know, improving the self. really becoming the best version of yourself. And I feel like that's the psychology that comes with it, that a lot of people don't realize. They think it's just fighting. No, it's about reaching your potential.
Yeah.
It's about reaching your potential, and emotionally, psychologically, and even just, morale and morally too. Then that's why I really, really mess with anime too. It's not just Dragon Ball Z in your case. This other side, we could be here all day, but
Exactly.
I think we're reaching close to like the hour mark. So like we got to go a good 7 minutes left and everything.
I'll end it. What I'll do is I'll close it like this, right? All right, we talked about anime. I'm gonna say Goku, right? I'm gonna actually add on to what you said, because I actually agree with a lot about what you just said about how people, black people in Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
I think it's powerful because Frieza calls the Saiyans monkeys.
Yeah.
There's a certain group of race that calls us black people monkeys.
Yeah.
That's one, how we signify with the Saiyans.
Yeah.
Number two, Frieza knew that the Saiyan race was a warrior race. In our history, and I'm gonna take it behind slavery, we are a warrior race as people. If you know the research about how Shaka Zulu and all those guys, they were a warrior race. They were warrior tribes. And African history, there were tribes, and they were, like you said, the strong prevailed.
Yeah, they carried them, but not just strength too, intelligence.
Intelligence, yeah.
The University of Timbuktu, everybody was going to Timbuktu.
The Dogons and everything, trust me.
Yeah, even the Romans had to study in Africa before they started their empires and everything. A lot of people don't realize that.
Fact.
Yes, but it's like,
And then what I would also like to say is, as far as we all know the power that we have within us, just like the Saiyans do. If you have knowledge of self, then you already knew that you can reach your full potential, because you have to know about who you are. That's that instinct. And as black people, we already have a natural instinct, right? Because we have these fast twitch muscle reflexes. You dig? So that's what separates us because of our melanin, right? So we have fast interactives, just like the Saiyans did. Saiyans had instinct and interactives when it comes to fighting. So we have a significance with that. And so a lot of us, we see ourselves as Saiyans. Let's just be honest.
Yeah.
And so what happened was, when Goku had lost knowledge of self when he was a kid, he became humble, but he learned about knowledge of self as well when he got older. But he always had one thing. He always used to say, even in Dragon Ball, let's take it before Dragon Ball Z, he used to always say how strong he was. No matter who he was around, he used to say, I'm strong. And it showed through his actions. So if I can close it with this, black people, I'm going to correlate Goku and the Saiyans and us in our community. Black people, you are strong.
Yes.
Black people, you are, yes, a warrior race. You're not, quote unquote, monkeys, right?
No.
So to break that stigma, you are who you become.
Yeah.
Knowledge of self is key. You find out who you are. We all come from the same race. We all come from a loving race.
Yes.
We are lovers, we're warriors, we're the samurai in the garden.
Yes.
So yes, as black people, this is who you are. Our women, y'all are nurturing women. Y'all fight for us, y'all fight for your people, you fight for your culture. And so we come together as people to see the best versions of ourselves, because family is what's important. The Saiyans knew that too.
Yeah.
Every single Saiyan had family. Vegeta had a family. Goku had a family. Y'all may hate on Vegeta, but Vegeta was a good father. You dig what I'm saying? Vegeta
he was kind of messing up at the beginning, but he figured it out.
But he figured it out.
Yeah.
And even though people can say about what he can for his tactics, he brought up his kids with strength. As black people, bring up your kids with strength. Come back and bring your sons up. Raise them, teach them how to become the best versions of themselves. Get them in martial arts. One thing that I've noticed about myself was when I became more into boxing and more into martial arts, I found a lot of balance within myself, because I understood how to balance my emotion and anger. Meaning, my anger was my emotion, but I also had to understand how to portray that to the world, and having balance within the physical self and that mental battle in your head. You can defeat the mental battle in your head, then you can defeat the enemy in front of you. So as children, as black children, we grow up with a lot of our energy. We can balance that with finding these tactics like boxing, get them into an organized combat to where they'll know how to portray themselves out into the world. But also, it starts with us too. So as black people, yes, you are Saiyans, you are a warrior race, we are loving people, and take that into consideration whenever you wake up in the morning. Have that in your mindset so you can become better, because you belong here. You belong just like everybody else in these nice homes. You belong having a good mindset. You don't have to be growing up with a less than mindset. You're not a crab in a bucket. It takes that change. And I'm telling you now, as a testament, you can change because I changed. You can change because he changed. You know what I'm saying? This is who you are as people. Reach that. Just like the Goku did. And he was the first one to become that Super Saiyan. Because he reached that. He always knew how strong he was, but it started with that foundation, y'all. Have a foundation to know you're strong, you're smart, you're intellectual, you're spiritual, you are emotionally intellectual, right? To get you into that next level, that's your foundation. And take that utility belt like Batman and become great, because you can utilize all these different tactics about yourself to become exactly who you need to be to reach that Super Saiyan level, but not just to stop there, but continue to climb.
No, seriously, for real. And keep in mind, too, on my end, it's like the strength isn't all about just having power over people or nothing. Strength can manifest in strength of character, strength of morale, strength of spirit, strength of perseverance and everything to get through adversity, and also strength of faith and everything, to always have the drive and the fuel to make sure, they can power up.
I got to record too.
It's okay. To make sure that you reach that end of it. So it's just like, you always have the power to change your reality, your destiny, and traject yourself to where you need to get and everything. So I'm gonna leave final words to that. Do you have any other final words you want to let people know, Cobe, before we bounce?
Yeah, man. Y'all, you can follow me, man. Like I said, Facebook, Rise and Rise Academy, YouTube, Rise and Rise Academy. My IG is King Olajuwon21. That's KingAlajuwan 21. If you want to tap in with me, send me a DM. Download my app, Rise and Rise Fitness. Rise space, the and symbol, space, Rise Fitness. Send me a consultation. My number is there. How to reach me is there. You can send me a message, honestly, through the application as well. And like I said, I can tap in with you if you want to become a best version of yourself. If you learn something on this podcast, and if you gravitate towards me, hey, that's how you want to reach me, man. And I want to see if I can tap in with anybody. And I do all genders, all ages. It doesn't matter who you are. I'm here to pour into you.
Cool. Yeah, no, that's love. Word is bond for real. Yeah, no, for real. And this is like the 75th episode of the Mental Thuds podcast, so I'm getting closer and closer to reaching my goal. I just got to keep consistent and everything. Thank you for hopping on, Cobe. I appreciate you. That's it for the Mental Thuds podcast, episode 75. We signing in. Now we're sounding out.
All right, peace.